Walk up, walk up. Once more the gods have come to earth. They have assumed the human form of our heaven-born emperor, known to men as Caligula. Draw near, mortals of common clay. A holy miracle is taking place before your eyes. By a divine dispensation peculiar to Caligula's hallowed reign, the secrets of the gods will be revealed to you. Come, gentlemen, come and adore him, and don't forget to give your alms. Today heaven and its mysteries are on show, at a price to suit every pocket. For all to see the secrets of Olympus, revelations in high places featuring gods in undress, their little plots and pranks. Step this way, the whole truth about your gods. Adore him and give your alms. Come near, gentlemen, the show's beginning. An epic-making reproduction of the life celestial, warranted, authentic in every detail. For the first time in the pomp and splendor of the gods are presented to the Roman public. You will relish our novel breathtaking effects, flashes of lightning, peals of thunder. The divine event on its triumphal way. Now watch with all your eyes. I'm Venus today. Now for the adoration. Bow down and repeat after me the litany of Venus called Caligula, Our Lady of Pangs and Pleasures. Our Lady of Pangs and Pleasures, born of the waves bitter and bright with sea foam. Born of the waves bitter and bright with sea foam. O Queen whose gifts are laughter and regrets. O Queen whose gifts are laughter and regrets. Rancors and raptures. Rancors and raptures. Teach us the indifference that kindles love anew. Teach us the indifference that kindles love anew. Make known to us the truth about this world, which is that it has none. Make known to us the truth about this world, which is that it has none. And grant us strength to live up to this verity of verities. And grant us strength to live up to this verity of verities. Now pause. Now pause. Bestow your gifts on us and shed on our faces the light of your impartial cruelty, your wanton hatred. Unfold above our eyes your arms laden with flowers and murders. Your arms laden with flowers and murderers. Welcome your wandering children home to the bleak sanctuary of your heartless, thankless love. Give us your passions without object, your griefs devoid of reason, your raptures that lead nowhere. Your raptures that lead nowhere. O Queen, so empty yet so ardent, inhuman yet so earthly, make us drunk with the wine of your equivalence, and surfeit us forever in the brackish darkness of your heart. Make us drunk with the wine of your equivalence, and surfeit us forever in the brackish darkness of your heart. Granted, my children, your prayer is heard. Steady on. Come here, my lad. Worship's very well, but almsgiving is better. Thank you. We are appeased. If the gods had no wealth other than the love you mortals give them, they'd be as poor Caligula. Now, gentlemen, you may go and spread abroad the glad tidings of the miracle you've been allowed to witness. You have seen Venus, seen her godhead with your fleshly eyes, and Venus herself has spoken to you. Go, most favored gentlemen. Just a moment. When you leave, mind you take the exit on your left. I have posted sentries in the others with orders to kill you. Naughty boy. You've been playing the anarchist again. You spoke blasphemy, Caius. Blasphemy? What's that? You're befouling heaven after bloodying the earth. How this youngster loves big words. You should watch your tongue, my lad. At this moment men are dying in Rome for saying much less. Maybe. But I have resolved to tell Caligula the truth. Listen to him, Caligula. That was the one thing missing in your empire, a bold young moralist. Do you really believe in the gods, Scipio? No. Then I fail to follow. If you don't believe, why be so keen to scent out blasphemy? One may deny something without feeling called on to besmirch it, or deprive others of the right of believing in it. But that's humility, the real thing. Unless I'm much mistaken, my dear Scipio, how glad I am on your behalf, and a trifle envious too. Humility is the one emotion I may never feel. It's not I you're envious of, it's the gods. If you don't mind, that will remain our secret, the great enigma of our reign. Really, you know, there's only one thing for which I might be blamed today. That's the small advance I've made upon the path of freedom. For someone who loves power, the rivalry of the gods is rather irksome. Well, I've proved to these imaginary gods that any man without previous training, if he applies his mind to it, can play their absurd parts to perfection. That, Caius, is what I meant by blasphemy. No, Scipio, it's clear-sightedness. I've merely realized that there's only one way of getting even with the gods. All that's needed is to be as cruel as they. And that's needed is to play the tyrant. Tell me, my young friend, what exactly is a tyrant? A blind soul. That's a moot point. I should say the real tyrant is a man who sacrifices a whole nation to his ideal of his or his ambition. But I have no ideal, and there's nothing left for me to covet by way of power or glory. If I use this power of mine, it's to compensate. For what? For the hatred and stupidity of the gods. Hatred does not compensate for hatred. Power is no solution. Personally, I know only one way of countering the hostility of the world we live in. Yes, and what is it? Poverty. I must try that too. Meanwhile, many men round you are dying. Oh, come, not so many as all that. Do you know how many wars I've refused to embark on? No, 3. And do you know why I refused? Because the grandeur of Rome means nothing to you. No, because I respect human life. You're joking, Caius. Or anyhow, I respect it more than I respect military triumphs. But it's a fact that I don't respect it more than I respect my own life. And if I find killing easy, it's because dying isn't hard for me. No, the more I think about it, the surer I feel that I'm no tyrant. What does it matter, if it costs us quite as dear as if you were one? If you had the least head for figures, you'd know that the smallest war a tyrant, however level-headed he might be, indulged in would cost you 1,000 times more than all my vagaries. Shall we call them put together? Possibly. But at least there'd be some sense behind a war. It would be understandable, and to understand makes up for much. There's no understanding fate. Therefore I choose to play the part of fate. I wear the foolish, unintelligible face of a professional god, and that is what the men who are here with you have learned to adore. That too, Caius, is blasphemy. No, Scipio, it's dramatic art. The great mistake you people make is not to take the drama seriously enough. If you did, you'd know that any man can play lead in the divine comedy and become a god. All he needs to do is to harden his heart. You may be right, Caius, but I rather think you've done everything that was needed to rouse up against you a legion of human gods, ruthless as yourself. You will drown in blood your godhead of a day. Really, Scipio. No, don't stop him, Casonia. Yes, Scipio, you spoke truer than you knew. I've done everything needed to that end. I find it hard to picture the event you speak of, but I sometimes dream it. and in all those faces surging up out of the angry darkness, convulsed with fear and hatred, I see, and I rejoice to see, the only God I've worshipped on this earth, foul and craven as the human heart. Now go. I've had enough of you, more than enough. I really must attend to my toenails. They're not nearly red enough, and I've no time to waste. Helica. Yes? Getting on with your task. What task? You know, the moon. Ah, yes, the moon. It's a matter of time and patience, but I'd like to have a word with you. I might have patience, only I have not much time, so you must make haste. I said I'd do my utmost, but first I have something to tell you, very serious news. Mind you, I've had her already. Whom? The moon. Yes, yes. Now listen, please. Do you know there's a plot being hatched against your life? Uh, what's more, I had her thoroughly. Only 2 or 3 times to be sure, still I had her all right. For the last hour I've been trying to tell you about it. Only, it was last summer. I'd been gazing at her so long and stroking her so often on the marble pillars in the gardens that evidently she'd come to understand. Please stop trifling, Caius. Even if you refuse to listen, it's my duty to tell you this, and if you shut your ears, it can't be helped. This varnish is no good at all, but to come back to the moon, it was a cloudless August night. She was coy to begin with. I'd gone to bed. First she was blood red, low on the horizon. Then she began rising, quicker and quicker, growing brighter and brighter all the while. All the higher she climbed, the paler she grew, till she was like a milky pool in a dark wood rustling with stars. Slowly, shyly, she approached. Through the warm night air, soft, light as gossamer, naked in beauty, she crossed the threshold of my room, glided to my bed, poured herself into it, and flooded me with her smiles and sheen. Now really, this new varnish is a failure. So you see, Helicon, I can say, without boasting, that I've had her. Now will you listen and learn the danger that's threatening you? All I want, Helicon, is the moon. For the rest, I've always known that will kill me. I haven't yet exhausted all that is to keep me living. That's why I want the moon, and you must not return till you have secured her for me. Very well. Now I'll do my duty and tell you what I've learned. There's a plot against you. Charia is the ringleader. I came across this tablet which tells you all you need to know. See, I put it in here. Where are you off to, Helicon? To get the moon for you. May I, Case? Come in, come in. So, my pet, you've returned to have another look at Venus. Well, no, it's not quite that. Shh. Oh, sorry, Case. I only wanted to say, you know, I'm very, very devoted to you, and my one desire is to end my days in peace. Be quick, man. Get it out. Well, it's like this. It's terribly serious. That's what I meant to say. No, it isn't serious, but I don't follow. What isn't serious? Well, what are we talking about, my love? I mean to say, there's a plot afoot against you. There, you see, just as I said, it isn't serious. But, Caius, they mean to kill you. Do you know why I can't believe you? The gods bear witness, Caius, that. Don't swear, I particularly ask you not to swear. Listen instead. Suppose it were true what you are telling me. I'd have to assume you were betraying your friends, isn't that so? Well, Caius, considering the deep affection I have for you, and I cannot assume that. I've always loathed baseness of that sort so profoundly that I could never restrain myself from having a betrayer put to death. But I know the man you are, my worthy friend, and I'm convinced you neither wish to play the traitor nor to die. Certainly not, Caius. Most certainly not. So you see I was right in refusing to believe you. You wouldn't stoop to baseness, would you? Oh, no, indeed. Nor betray your friends. I need hardly tell you that, Caius. Therefore it follows that there isn't any plot. It was just a joke. Between ourselves, rather a silly joke, what you've just been telling me, eh? Yes, yes, a joke, merely a joke. Good. So now we know where we are. Nobody wants to kill me. Nobody. That's it, nobody at all. Then leave me, sweetheart. A man of honor is an animal so rare in the present-day world that I couldn't bear the sight of one too long. I must be left alone to relish this unique experience. Bring Chariot to me. Wait, treat him politely. You decided to be logical, didn't you, poor simpleton? Logic forever. The question now is, where will that take you? Suppose the moon were brought here, everything would be different. That was the idea, wasn't it? Then the impossible would become possible. In a flash, the great change come, and all things be transfigured. After all, why shouldn't Helicon bring it off? One night, perhaps, he'll catch us sleeping in a lake, and carry her here, trapped in a glistening net, all slimy with weeds and water, like a pale bloated fish drawn from the depths. Why not, Caligula? Why not, indeed? Fewer and fewer people round me. I wonder why. Too many dead. Too many dead. That makes an emptiness. No, even if the moon were mine, I could not retrace my way. Even were those dead men thrilling again under the sun's caress, the murderers wouldn't go back underground for that. Logic, Caligula. Follow where logic leads. Power to the uttermost. Willingness without end. Ah, I'm the only man on earth to know the secret. That power can never be complete without a total self-surrender to the dark impulse of one's destiny. No, there's no return. I must go on and on until the consummation. You sent for me, Caius. Yes, Chariot. Have you anything particular to tell me? No, Chariot. Are you sure you really need my presence? Absolutely sure, Chariot. I'm sorry for seeming so inhospitable. I was following up my thoughts, and now do sit down. We'll have a friendly little chat. I'm in a mood for some intelligent conversation. Do you think, Chariot, that it's possible for two men of much the same temperament and equal pride to talk to each other without complete frankness? If only once in their lives. Can they strip themselves naked, so to speak, and shed their prejudices, their private interests, the lies by which they live? Yes, Caius, I think it possible, but I don't think you'd be capable of it. You're right. I only wish to know if you'd agreed with me. So let's wear our masks and muster up our lies, and we'll talk as fencers fight, patted on all the vital parts. Tell me, Chariot, why don't you like me? Because there's nothing likable about you, Caius. Because such feelings can't be had to order. Because I understand you far too well. One cannot like an aspect of oneself which one always tries to keep concealed. But why is it you hate me? There, Caius, you're mistaken. I do not hate you. I regard you as noxious and cruel, vain and selfish, but I cannot hate you, because I don't think you are happy. And I cannot scorn you, because I know you are no coward. Then why wish to kill me? I've told you why. Because I regard you as noxious, a constant menace. I like and need to feel secure. So do most men. They resent living in a world where the most preposterous fancy may at any moment become a reality, and the absurd transfix their lives like a dagger in the heart. I feel as they do. I refuse to live in a topsy-turvy world. I want to know where I stand and to stand secure. Security and logic don't go together. Quite true. My plan of life may not be logical, but at least it's sound. Go on. There's no more to say. I'll be no party to your logic. I've a very different notion of my duties as a man, and I know that the majority of your subjects share my view. You outrage their deepest feelings. It's only natural that you should disappear. I see your point, and it's legitimate enough. For most men, I grant you, it's obvious, but you, I should have thought, would have known better. You're an intelligent man, and given intelligence, one has a choice, either to pay its price or to disown it. Why do you shirk the issue and neither disown it nor consent to pay its price? Because what I want is to live and to be happy. Neither to my mind is possible if one pushes the absurd to its logical conclusions. As you see, I'm quite an ordinary sort of man. True, there are moments when, to feel free of them, I desire the death of those I love, or I hanker after women from whom the ties of family or friendship debar me. Were logic everything, I'd kill or fornicate on such occasions. But I consider that these passing fancies have no great importance. If everyone set to gratifying them, the world would be impossible to live in, and happiness too would go by the board. And these, I repeat, are the things that count for me. So I take it you believe in some higher principle. Certainly. I believe that some actions are, shall I say, more praiseworthy than others. And I believe that all are on an equal footing. I know it, Caius, and that's why I don't hate you. I understand and to a point agree with you, but you're pernicious, and you've got to go. True enough, but why risk your life by telling me this? Because others will take my place, and because I don't like lying. Cheria. Yes, Caius. Do you think that two men of similar temperament and equal pride can, if only once in their lives, open their hearts to each other? That I believe is what we've just been doing. Yes, Cheria, but you thought I was incapable of it. I was wrong, Caius. I admit it, and I thank you. Now I await your sentence. My sentence? Ah, I see. You know what this is, Cheria. I knew you had it. You knew I had it. So your frankness was all a piece of play acting. The two friends did not open their hearts to each other. Well, well, it's no great matter. Now we can stop playing at sincerity and resume life on the old footing. But first I'll ask you to make just one more effort. To bear with my caprices and my tactlessness a little longer. Listen well, Cheria. This tablet is the one and only piece of evidence against you. Caius, I'd rather go. I'm sick and tired of all these antics. I know them only too well, and I've had enough. Let me go, please. No, stay. This tablet is the only evidence. Is that clear? Evidence? I never knew you needed evidence to send a man to his death. That's true. Still, for once I wish to contradict myself. Nobody can object to that. It's so pleasant to contradict oneself occasionally, so restful. I need rest, Cheria. I don't follow, and frankly, I've no taste for these subtleties. I know, Cheria, I know. You're not like me. You're an ordinary man, sound in mind and body. Naturally, you've no desire for the extraordinary. You want to live and to be happy, that's all. I think, Caius, we'd better leave it at that. Can I go? Not yet. A little patience, if you don't mind. I shall not keep you long. You see this thing, this piece of evidence. I choose to assume that I can't sentence you to death without it. That's my idea, and my repose. Well, see what happens. See what becomes of evidence in an emperor's hands. You see, conspirator, the tablet's melting, and as it melts, a look of innocence is dawning on your face. What a handsome forehead you have, Cheria, and how rare, how beautiful a sight is an innocent man. Admire my power. Even the gods cannot restore innocence without first punishing the culprit. But your emperor needs only a torch flame to absolve you and give you a new lease of hope. So carry on, Cheria. Follow out the noble precepts we've been hearing, wherever they may take you. Meanwhile, your emperor waits his repose. It's his way of living and being happy.